Alright, good morning Year 9, I hope you're well. For our first video lesson together we're going to be looking at factors and also how to calculate the highest common factor of a pair of numbers. Okay, so let's start off with a fact. I'm telling you that 2 is a factor of 6. Let's think, what does that actually mean? What actually is a factor? Well, a factor, so factors are just whole numbers which times together to make a particular number. So for example, if we're thinking about the factors of 6, because I know that 2 times by 3 gives me 6, this tells me that 2 is a factor of 6 and also 3 is a factor of 6. 6 actually has 2 more factors. Can we think what they are? So, because I know that 1 times by 6 makes 6, I can say that 1 is a factor of 6 and 6 is a factor of 6. So you have 2 whole numbers which times together to make another number. These 2 whole numbers are factors of that product. Right? So I've got 5 examples here, so I'm going to talk you through them. They're true or false questions. For each question I'm going to say true or false, and I'm also going to give a reason. If you want to try these for yourself instead, you're more than welcome to pause the video, but I'm going to go ahead and do these examples now. So our first question is 8 is a factor of 4, so it's true or false. I'm going to tell you this one is false. I know that because 8 times by something gives me 4. That something, that would have to be a decimal number less than 1. So because 8 doesn't go into 4, 8 is not a factor of 4. So my next one, so is 4 a factor of 8? So true or false? I'm going to tell you that's true. And my reason is because 4 times by 2 gives me 8. Next one, 6 is a factor of 8, true or false? I'm going to tell you that's false. 6 does not go into 8. If I'd done 6 times by something to give me 8, that something would have to be a decimal number, so that does not work. That does not fit our definition of what a factor is. 6 is a factor of 24. I'm telling you that's true. I know that's true because 6 multiplied by 4 gives me 24, so that one works, that is true. Last one, 24 is a factor of 24. I'm going to tell you that is true. And my reason is because 24 multiplied by 1 does give me 24. Alright. Okay, so for task 1, what I would like you to do, can you complete as many of these questions as you can in 10 minutes? If it's taking you longer than 10 minutes, please just move yourself on to the next part of this video. And these are your solutions. Alright, so just like what we do in lessons, let's quickly test ourselves on what we've just discussed. At any point you're welcome to pause the video if you need some more time to think. So, which of these numbers is a factor of 21? Our solution should be C. I know that because 3 times by 7 gives me 21, which makes 3 a factor of 21 and 7 a factor of 21 as well. As long as these two things are whole numbers, they would be factors of that target number. Next question. Remember, if you need some more time to think, just pause the video. So how many factors does 9 have? I know that 9 must have 3 factors, because the only ways you can make 9 is 1 times 9 to get 9, and 3 times by 3 to make 9. So the factors of 9 would be 1, 3, and 9. 9 has 3 factors. Okay, so new skill. We're going to work out how to find the highest common factor of a pair of numbers. So I'm going to try an example, and then you're going to try your own. So, highest common factor of 8 and 20. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to list my factors of 20. So, what numbers multiply together to make 20? Well, 1 times by 20 makes 20, which means that 1 and 20 are factors of 20. However, there are more factors of 20. I can also make 20 by going 2 times by 10 to get 20, which means that 2 and 10 would also be factors of 20. Okay, I can think of some more factor pairs of 20. So 4 multiplied by 5 makes 20, which means that 4 times by 5, which means that 4 and 5 are factors of 20. Okay, so this is my complete list. These are my factors of 20. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to list my factors of 8. So how can I make 8? Well, I can do 1 times by 8 to get 8, which means that 1 and 8 are factors of 8. And I could also make 8 by going 2 times by 4 to get 8, which means that 2 and 4 are factors of 8. Alright, so what does this mean? Highest common factor. Well, we're looking for the largest number that is common in both lists of factors. Common just means that number is in both of those lists. It appears in each of those lists. So, looking at my two lists, what is the biggest number that appears in both of these lists? And that number we're looking for is 4, which means that the highest common factor of 20 and 8 is 4. And sometimes on worksheets and in tests and things like that, they'll write it as HCF. That just stands for highest common factor. Alright, so now could you pause the video and have a go at your turn? So your question is, what's the highest common factor of 20 and 15? And just unpause the video when you're ready and I'll give you your solution. So, our solution. What we're going to do, we're going to work out the factors of 20, which thankfully we've already done that working out in the first question. So our factors of 15 would have been 1, 3, 5 and 15. Highest common factor, remember, just means what is the highest number in both of these lists. Biggest number in both lists is 5, which means that the highest common factor of 20 and 15 is 5. And remember, sometimes that's written as HCF, which stands for highest common factor. Alright, so what I'd like you to do now, can you have a go at task 2? Okay, and if you're feeling confident, you could try the challenge questions if you're feeling up to it. Alright, so just please let me know if you need any help. You can contact me via Google Classroom or just sending me an email. Okay, thank you.